Alright. Let's go talk to Alphino real quick. Hello, Alphino. For one with reason to sub, Alphino looks rather grim. Okay. It would seem we have much to discuss with our friends at the Rising Stones. If what you say is true, Iceheart's method of summoning Shiva defies all precedent. It necessitates a complete reappraisal of the primal threat, and of our approach to combating it. Moreover, there are grave ramifications if word of this incident reaches Imperial ears. The Garland Empire believe that primals are an insurmountable menace, that their mere existence is a threat to this very star. As such, they deem any action taken against the beast tribes to be justified by default. Imagine then if it became known that this was not only the beast tribes of Yorza that could summon primals, but that her civilized people as well. Any lingering objections to the Yorzan campaign vanish overnight. Well, yeah. Anyone can summon them, basically. Not just the beast tribes. Where before we had to contend with a single Imperial Legion, we could well find ourselves facing the combined might of all of Garlemald. But I speak unanimously. Come, it is better that we continue this conversation in Mordona. Anyone can summon them, not just the beast tribes. That's basically what it is.
Words cannot well express how glad I am to see you return to us hale and whole. Needless to say, I am most eager to hear your account of that which occurred in Kurthis, assuming you're ready to speak of it. Excellent. I shall summon the others at once. Iceheart used her own body as a vessel for a primal soul?
Master Louisoix's writings make no mention of such a possibility. Can we be certain this entity was a primal?
As certain as we can be that good King Mogulmog the 12th was a primal, I should think. Both were ostensibly summoned.
Let's not quibble over definitions. Of more concern is the implication that Iceheart retained her will, even after she was possessed. We are talking about a mortal, wielding the power of a primal.
It can't possibly be that easy, can it? There must be some sort of sacrifice required. Or maybe she's just special?
What qualities this woman possesseth, I know not. But full sure am I that she was groomed for this role. Few are privy to the secrets of summoning, and but a single party standeth to profit from their dissemination.
Well, I wouldn't presume to comment on how the lass came to know about summoning, but I will say that what she summoned was a primal. The readings were the same, or near as damn it. Strange as it all sounds, it's really no different from what you've faced before.
Then mayhap it is time that we re-examined our previous encounters.
Pack your things, Ida. We're going back to Gridania.
Yes, sir.
About Iceheart's final words to you. Hear, feel, think. Hydaelyn speaks to her as well. If Iceheart is blessed with the power of the Echo, she will doubtless have used it to further her goals. Or could it be that it was a revelation granted her by the Echo which first set her on this path? She did say that the Ishgardians were blind to the truth. Do you think she has knowledge of the origins of the Ishgardian-Dravanian War? It would do much to explain her unwavering conviction.
Did not the Lady Iceheart implore thee to seek the Keeper of the Lake? And did she not imply that in so doing thou wouldst come to see with eyes unclouded?
Midgard Zoma was a king amongst kings who reigned for centuries on end. But he is dead and his wisdom lost to the ages. Unless the Ishgardians' fears are well founded, it would seem we have yet another reason to stand watch over the Keeper of the Lake. For a mercy, we are well positioned to do so. Iceheart, Shiva, Ascians, and Midgard Zoma. I shudder to think how they're all connected.
It means to scout the annals of knowledge. Okay, interesting. Commotion outside. Would you have to? There's commotion. Let's check what the commotion is. Well that you were on hand. You have a problem. Royal has escaped. It happened shortly after the Emerald Flames took her into custody. She had been placed in a dungeon cell ahead of her coming trial, but apparently the combination was not to her liking. The turnkey was found slain along with the 2 guards, displaying she received inside help. Citizen reports seeing Royal quitting the city via the Gate of Nald with a bloodied spear in her hand. She makes for Cactuar Meridianum. I am certain of it. With her fate in Eorza as good as sealed, what recourse has she but to flee to her imperial masters? Even then, as we speak, Captain Ilberd and the First are hot upon Royal's heels. Pray make haste to Camp Blue Fog and join the hunt. Thanks for coming, Sam. I have spoken to soldiers here. They say that Royal walked through the camp a bell ago. Aye, we walked right through. You did not mishear. We have Robon's decision to keep the master secret. Thank for that. Bad for morale, he said. As a result, not seeing a single flame in the garrison made any attempt to detain her, and so here we are. Royal must not be allowed to reach Cactuar Meridianum. Alright, let's go. She's making her escape. We're gonna stop her from escaping. Proceed. Oh, I have the duty finder on. Oops. Proceed. Let's go. Threw himself at us that his mischief might escape. She didn't blink when we cut him down, not even when he started screaming. No loyalty even to her own. The goddamn heartbeat. With me, Cyan, we almost have her. How? How did I fail? I did not even die. How did I fail? I don't understand. How was that a failure? Come on. For yours, yeah. Complete. Perfect. There you go. Easy. Find her and do it tight. Yes, sir. Good work. She and her Imperial cronies pushed us close, but we were better. Hold, a respected officer in Royal Flames. People looked up to you as one of the Order's founding members, one of its pillars. It saddens me to see you fallen so low. What would you know of low? You, a poor little lordling who has never known any want. Aye. People such as you may take wealth and birth for granted. You think it your God's given right to rule over others? You know not of our plight, the injustice that we low-born Ishgardens must endure. To the noble lords and ladies, we were not people, but resources to be consumed. I did what I had to survive. Stealing, killing, even... Okay, it is not my fault. If fools managed me a paragon when I joined the Flames. To hear you tell it, one would think you the only person ever to have suffered. In case you have forgotten, Robon himself was born into poverty, as was I. We lived hand to mouth, with little more than shirts on our backs. Hunger was our constant companion. Yet never did we bemoan our lot in life, nor did we begrudge others their fortunes. We accepted the hand that we had been dealt, and played it to the best of our ability. Life was a battle, but no matter what fate threw at us, we took it on the chin, and came back for more. Everything we have, everything we fought for. How are we any different then? It is true that we were both mercenaries of lowly birth. It is true that we both had our fair share of struggles. But whereas I sold my sword, you sold your comrades. If life has taught me one thing, it is that you never betray your own. I would sooner cut off my own arm than raise a hand against my friend. But enough talk. You will return to Ul'dah to face justice, and the people whose trust you have dragged through the gutter. Well, then we caught her last time, and now she was run away. Not so much as a hint of remorse. Just well that this sordid business is finally to an end. My friend's betrayal cuts deeper than steel. We must hope that we have chosen our own allies more wisely than Robon chose his. Yeah. Level 110? I have 130, so that's better.
I have heard. Truly bothersome business. No, I do not foresee a problem on that front. The main concern is Robon. There is no telling what the brute might do. Have the blades watch him in the flames day and night. You may leave the Sultana to me. I shall personally attend her grace.
You're scheming something, Teleji.
Sever one of the East Aldenard trade routes. That ought to keep Lolorito occupied for a while.
Yeah. Teleji is he's scheming something.
Nanamo Ulnamo. For my sake, pray be a good little Sultana to the last.
Captain Ilber and I have a few questions for the Flame Marshal regarding the circumstances of her miraculous escape. As one division, we shall take our findings directly to General Robon, and that shall be the end of it. Your work here is done, my friend. Thanks. And, but I have one last task for you. Return to the Rising Stones and apprise Minthara of all that has happened. I'm aware that the antecedent held royal in high regard. For better or worse, you'll want to know how this tale ends. Yeah. Makes sense. Hello, Postman. How are you doing? Doing good, Postman? I'm doing good. Rising Stones. Gonna go to Mordona.
Welcome back, my friend. I have already received word from Alfino. To think that Flame Marshal Huayu was the Garlean agent. I know not what to say. Together with Robon, Eline lent us much-needed aid at the time of our Order's founding. She was particularly passionate about the need to tackle the primal threat. When we discussed the subject, her eyes fairly shone with determination. Whatever else she may have been, I choose to believe that it was her true self with whom I spoke then. But now is not the time to dwell on such matters. I have an important announcement to make regarding our effort to defeat the Ascians. We shall begin as soon as everyone is assembled. My thanks for coming, friends. Moonbreeder, the floor is yours.
By now, I'm sure you're all familiar with white auracite, the miraculous material that'll allow us to capture Ascian souls. Back at Snowcloak, we verified its ability to absorb vast amounts of ether. Alas, it leaves something to be desired in the area of stability. The stone can only store ether for a short while before expelling its contents.
In addition to auracite's inherent limitations, we must needs be wary of our enemy's strength. Our foe draweth upon an infinite wellspring of power. Even should we succeed in entrapping him, the stone will not long contain his wrath.
Meaning that, if we want to kill the swine, we'll have to be quick about it.
'Tis our belief that an Ascian soul may be permanently undone, if smitten by a sufficiently concentrated burst of pure ether.
The only trouble is, we can't say for sure how concentrated the burst needs to be. Without knowing how much ether an Ascian soul is composed of, we're basically guessing.
Our sole clue lieth in thy struggle with La Habrea.
During that encounter, Heidelin bid you forge what she called a Blade of Light, a weapon which took the form of a luminous stream of energy. Based on your description, we believe the blade with which you vanquished your foe was composed of ether. Admittedly, your victory proved ephemeral, as La Habrea was able to use a crystal of darkness to flee into the space that lies between our world and the void. The fact remains, however, that Heidelin placed the means to destroy the Ascians in your hands. Be that as it may, it would be unwise to assume that she will do the same when we next encounter such a foe.
Quite so, my lady. We must needs find the means to forge our own blade of ether, one to equal that which Heidelin did benevolently bestow upon her champion.
That is all well and good, but it seems to me that producing such a blade will require a prodigious quantity of ether. Whence will it come, pray tell?
Oh, what if we had two pieces of white auracite? One to trap the Ascian, and the other to store the ether for the blade.
Oh, nice try. But it's as I said, the stone won't hold ether for any length of time. We'd still need to collect the stuff there and then, sorry to say.
And therein lies the rub. Finding a way to create the blade whenever and wherever we choose.
It would seem more research is in order.
I'm going to linger a while, perform a few more tests on the auracite. and I could do with some help. Urianger, why don't you lend me a hand?
Mine apologies, but I am required at the Waking Sands. Lady Minfilia hath given me sole charge of the premises. 'Twould be unseemly to leave them unattended.
Sole charge, you say? So you're basically alone there, then? Well, that settles it. I'll just have to come to you.
While you were afield, word arrived from the Sharlayan motherland. You will recall that a survey party was dispatched to investigate the incident of the Isle of Vow. What they discovered was troubling, to say the least. According to the report, the Isle has been erased from existence. 'Twas as if a hole had been torn in the very fabric of reality.
Aye, yet the mystery endeth not with the Isle's disappearance. It hath come to light that a number of scholars in various other locales were reported missing at a similar juncture.
What's more, they all had something in common with the head of the students of Baldessian. Every last one of them was researching a phenomenon called dimensional compression, or the rejoining as the ancient texts call it. I'll be damned if that's a coincidence.
All indications suggest Ascian involvement, but I sense that a force greater still is at work. The entity the Dark Beings call the One True God. We must pray that my dear friend Cryle regains consciousness soon. If she bore witness to the Isle of Val's final moments, she may be able to shed some light on this mystery.
Following the calamity, the forces of the 14th Imperial Legion entrenched themselves in strategic locations across Eorzea. So swiftly did they accomplish this, it was suspected that they had received help. To think that it came from Huayu, my right hand.
There is more. We have reason to believe that Huayu didn't deal exclusively with the 14th. She also answered to a higher authority in Garlemald. But this higher authority could not have been the Emperor. By consenting to the Media Project, Solus Zos Galvus showed himself to be more concerned about preventing the spread of primal influence than claiming Eorzea for the Empire. He would happily have seen the lot reduced to ash. We believe a number of high-ranking figures within the royal household were against the decision, but that they knew better than to oppose the Emperor openly. Of course, this didn't prevent them from making clandestine provisions, in which Huayu played a part.
Alas, these provisions did not prevent Dalamut from falling, and the ensuing chaos changed the face of the realm forever. Yet Eorzea survived. To all intents and purposes, the Meteor Project had failed, and the Empire was left to rue its lack of a decisive means to eliminate the primals. Until, that is, it stumbled upon the Ultima weapon.
Even before the accursed thing was dug up, it seemed to me the 14th had the might to overwhelm our weakened armies. Yet they chose to hide behind their walls. Why?
The Black Wolf was wary of making the denizens of Eorzea desperate, lest more primals emerge to bleed the land. The discovery of the Ultima weapon, however, emboldened him to resume his war of conquest in earnest.
But there was one in Garlemald who believed that Van Belsar's actions were premature. One who stood higher in the Imperial Army's chain of command. He ordered the Legatus to halt his advance, only to find that the Black Wolf had slipped its leash, and that the 14th now acted alone. In a bid to bring Van Belsar to heel, he used the agent he had planted in Ul'dah prior to the Calamity to undermine the Legion's efforts.
A man who outranks Van Belsar, yet opposed the late Emperor's decision to annihilate Eorzea. This could only be the former High Legatus of the Garlean army, now known as Emperor Varus Osgalvus. So he was Huayu's true master.
But one of several in actual fact. We've learned that even as Huayu served the Empire's interests, she sold Imperial secrets to a certain faction in Eorzea. In so doing, she helped to maintain the status quo, thus prolonging the conflict. Considering who stands to profit from war, it isn't hard to imagine who her other masters were.
Seven hells! You mean to say that she was a double agent?
Triple, if you consider her services to Van Belsar and the new Emperor as separate.
As neatly as these pieces seem to fit, one aspect of the puzzle remains unclear to me. By whose will was the Marshal feeding intelligence to the heretics? And try as I might, I fail to see how aiding their cause would profit either her Imperial or monetarist masters. Could it be that another hand is at work here? If so, Huayu must be made to reveal whose it is.
Not only have I lost a trusted friend, now I must interrogate her as a stranger.
Not a pleasant task, I grant you, but a necessary one. Unless we weed out the ivy, root, stalk, and stem, it will simply grow back.
I know that full well. Those closest to Huayu have already been detained, and I will question them alongside her.
General, pray keep in mind that there may be unwitting abettors among them.
All will be treated fairly. On that you have my word. Those who are innocent have no cause to fear.
You have ever been a friend of truth, General. I hope the unpleasant task of weeding out falsehood will not detain you too long. Though it be for the sake of Eorzea, doubting one's comrades is poison to the soul. And with that, I take my leave.
All these years, I've been made to dance to their tune. How could you, Huayu? How could you side with them? Those cankers who take from this land and give naught in return, who use their power to disempower and grow fat while the people starve. I know you can hear me, monetarist scum! Your crimes will not go unpunished! Damn, purge this land of your sickness before the eyes of the 12, I swear it!
I shall have no further need of you this day. Your Grace. I fear that not even mine own chambers shall remain private for long.
Has the situation grown so grim?
Ever since he proposed the Cartiner Reclamation Bill, Teleji Adeleji has risen to greater prominence upon the backs of impoverished refugees. The monetarists were ever united in their pursuit of profit, but the man's actions have torn a rift in their ranks. They snap at each other as rabid dogs. Yet now is not the time to be bickering among ourselves.
If this bickering is a threat to law and order, might you not have grounds to dissolve the Syndicate?
Would that the solution were so simple, Admiral. Alas, my moving to dissolve the Syndicate is certain to spark outrage among the influential merchant class, whom the Cabal represents. This would serve to exacerbate the current unrest, and peace would slip still further away. Be they rich or poor, natives or refugees, all who reside in Ul'dah have a right to pursue happiness. It is the duty of a ruler to protect this right. If I am to perform my duty, I must needs tread warily. It would not do to make enemies heedlessly. Were Lord Lolorito here, he would doubtless say that I have my head in the clouds.
A ruler is required to take a wide view. Try as we might to cater to all needs, some will inevitably be overlooked. As such, there shall ever be citizens who feel aggrieved. It cannot be helped. But as you have informed us, the monetarists take no view but their own. They hunger for power while the masses starve. In the absence of a common cause, it seems beyond any one individual to make Ul'dah whole.
And the presence of a Garlean agent within the Immortal Flames only makes matters worse. Even accounting for Ul'dah's historic reliance upon mercenaries, such a grievous breach of security is unprecedented. I fear this business will provide the monetarists with a rod to beat Rauban.
Eorzea can ill afford for the Immortal Flames to be dampened now. Ere long, the Garleans will turn their ravenous gaze toward our lands once more. If we are to resist their might, our nations must stand together. Yet for this to happen, our nations must be whole. Cannot be done to improve the situation in Ul'dah.
The true wealth of Ul'dah lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her citizens. Alas, the citizens shall never know these things, so long as their lives are ruled by the ambitions of the few. The monetarists claim to represent the best interests of the people, but in sooth they desire only to manipulate them for their own selfish ends. For the government to serve the people, it must be formed of the people. For Ul'dah to move forward, it is not only the Syndicate that must be dissolved.
Nay, you jest.
My friends, it was for no other reason than to make known to you mine intent that I requested your presence here. When I make my declaration to the people, chaos shall inevitably ensue. As the last monarch in the line of Ul, I make unto you this request. Help Rauban to preserve order and protect the people. Forsake them, and you forsake yourselves. For a strong Eorzea will ever have need of a strong Ul'dah.
Your Grace, are you certain of this?
There is no other way. When the time is ripe, the nation shall become a true republic. Both royalists and monetarists shall cease to be. Uldar will no longer belong to kings or queens or merchant princes, but to her people. Raban, forgive me for casting aside all that you have toiled for in my name. Beyond this gesture, I am powerless to help my subjects.
Well, that was interesting. Alright, so this is the Interminate Hulk IC-0 tree, Central Dex, tree 525 Yalms. Alright. This place looks scary. I'm reminded of the passage beneath Cactuar and Sidon. We must have traveled quite some distance below the surface. More of the same titles, 12 be good. Surely they cannot continue all the way from the upper floors. Makes sense. It's difficult to see inside, but I have a terrible feeling those corridors house more dreadful guardians. You have powdery face. So the elegance, exilian creation, chemical beasts. Makes sense. Well, this looks dangerous, man. I wonder if the creatures that prowl these halls, could they be beloved children of which nails speak? Well, this is yet another mystery to ponder upon our return. Shall we continue onwards? Yes, let's continue onwards. Okay, I wait. Okay, I wait here. Oh, fuck. Wait for this thing? Okay. What, now go down? Okay. Trying to do this with 2 people, man. Doing a 2-people run of this dungeon. Having pretty fun. Doing a 2-player run with a high-level player. This is pretty fun so far. No cutscene. Oh, this thing looks scary as heck. Okay, how do I do this? Oh shit! Okay. The Avatar. Yeah, he looks scary. Okay, I'm gonna try to make sure he doesn't die, because he deals a lot more damage than me. He does a lot more damage than me. Shit. Xander! I'm fucking stunned! Don't tell me we're both gonna die. What? What was that? Alright, second attempt of the Central Dex. Let's go. lost your lot. Alright, let's go. Turn 4. Let's go. Let's do this. Yeah, we're good. We're good. We're gonna ace this. It's gonna be like we're the professionals, and everything's gonna be good. Oh, cutscene. That surely cannot be Dalman. How where are we? The final resting place of Nal Van Darnus. This grave's for the undeserving. And for the crime of trespassing upon my god's sanctuary, this place shall serve as your grave too. No, no. I can't let you. In the hour of this failure, now Darnus felt the currents of his Aether begin to bear his origin, but before oblivion could claim the last of him, a divine will reach out, and I was born. And this the words of my God resound in my ears. Bring unto mine enemies crushing defeat, that they might know despair without end, and claim thee thus the victory which thou wert once denied. Okay, that looks pretty sick. What is this? Oh, is that like tattoos? Oh, angel wings. What? Oh, turn into a dragon. Big dragon. Oh, that looks sick. That looks amazing. We've seen the little remaining Nal's essence when Bahamut plucked him from the brick of oblivion, and the result was this strange circle. Nevertheless, for us be sweet great power, which channels the rage of the elder primal. Lord Bahamut, this thy wish my command, none shall escape thine unquenchable fury. Come, you dull, untaking beasts, bare your teeth. They will avail you not in the calamity to come. Alright, let me do this shit. We're all gonna, let's do this. What do we do here? Oh, fuck! That hits like a truck, yes. Oh, Delamon spawns. Yeah, we got these down. As long as they don't die, we don't wipe, so we should be fine. If I can stay alive, we should be fine. Or with our undersized party. Oh fuck. What's this? Years? Fuck! totally is. Oh no! Oh, that was close. Did we got it? Did we got it? Oh, that was a close one. That was a close one. Yeah, you basically need a tank to one-shot through. The tank is like usually the last one that dies. Sometimes DPS and medic can get wrecked pretty easily. Second Coil of Bahamut complete. Perfect. Hello, Alice. What's wrong? Poor creature, would to that you had ever been born. You had surrendered your physical form and coalesced into the Aether, but Bahamut denied you death and imprisoned what little was left of you, in an ethereal shell resembling what I wonder. Images from your memory, perhaps. But that shell is now broken, and your primal deity seems disinclined to sustain your existence. My primal deity, I kneel to Akon. What need have I to beg to favor such filth? I am Nal Valdranus, legatus of the 7th Legion. No moment, my thoughts are clouded, and this body is not my own. Could it be that you spoke true? Was I controlled by the Lesser Moon's ancient prisoner? That will not happen again. You speak as if Bahamut no longer controlled you, but that's impossible. Once a primal ensnares a mind, it cannot be freed. Also, why did they call them Acons? Once Bahamut simply relinquished his claim, what need has he for a broken spirit bound for ethereal realm? Oh, that I should fall prey to very influence I sought to purge from the land. The irony is gallant. But do not assume that all of my actions were chosen for me. It was my will that the Meteor Project be resurrected, mine and another. Yet it seems that my grand designs were destined to fail. Even the ungentle release of death was denied of me. Now, please, you must tell us more of the calamity. I must know the truth of what has befallen the world. What became of Grandfather Archon Luisua? You are Luisa's grandchild. Ah, the fates are generous with their cruelty. Continue on if you would have your answers. They await you at the terminus of your path, but know that this path leads only to despair. The light of truth was ever harsh and unforgiving. Why do you say this? Grandfather will be freed once we put a stop to Bahamut's restoration, will he not? What are you not telling us? Still yourself. Only unbending resolve and merciless strength can conquer what lies ahead. The weak can do naught but weep under the pall of their own misery, as did the frail child I once was. Silence, chattering raven. Your wretched wings are broken, you shall soar no more. I recognize that voice, but never would say such words. Come, let us finish what we came for, and all will be put all right when the final halt lies dormant. Grandfather will be himself again, I'm sure of it. originates more swiftly than I anticipated. Let us hope that disabling this coil will serve to slow the process. Yes. Display seems to control mimic the mechanism we found in Landnuskia and Hulk. It shouldn't be pose a problem. Yeah, it's about the same thing, right? Forgive me, the moment I beheld Nail's transformation, I hoped into my help. I did not believe you would stand a chance in the vestige of Bahamut power. For all your forbade strength skill, I felt certain that I was going to lose you, just as I lost my grandfather. And yet, look how far we have come. These incredible feats of which we are capable are boundless potential. It was this capacity of greatness I believe that grandfather so dearly wished to protect. With all that has occurred, I have come to understand that much, at least. Yes. Makes sense, I would say. This is done. Shall we make our way back to the surface and gather our thoughts? We have seen much that will benefit of your and listener perspective. Oh, and there's the guy. Who's that? Oh, this is a pretty long cutscene. Father, is this you? Then why? Abandon this quest, I'll say. I will not countenance further sabotage of the coils. Sabotage? But we were just disabled the coils if we are to prevent Bahamut revival. Your defiance seals your fate. No, you're not who I thought you were. My grandfather would never. Foolish girl. How could the Red Raven allow herself to be bested by such sniveling opponents? Listen well, we all exist at the pleasure of one divine will, and the word of Lord Bahamut is absolute. Scribble back to your holes, Vermin. You have been granted this one reprieve, but you should be so foolish as to crawl into my lord's domain again. I will crush the life from you myself. That light in grandfather, he has suffered the same fate as Neo. My grandsire is no more. That was not but a phantom that profanes his noble memory. This mockery must be expunged. I will not rest until I free grandfather's soul from Bahamut's tyranny. Do you hear me, Bahamut? Your time is at the end. Yours and my family will be revenged. I will say it's resolved, alright? Truly it is wonderful to escape this living air and return to Northern Talon again, it would appear. I must thank you. Were it not for your bravery, I strongly doubt that I would be standing here. Ah, but you need not tarry on my account. The danger has passed. Pray go on ahead and apprise your Andrea of all that occurred. I will join you anon. My thoughts are yet unruly, and I would rest here for a while. Alright, time to talk to her and get the Waking Sands. I have a letter for Waking Sands, right? Vesper Bay? Yeah. Hello, Yunge. Renji. The triumph of hero doth return. Thine eyes speak of the dread task completion. The second coil now lies dormant. Yet I sense the tidings thou bearest are not altogether glad. Pray tell me, what ill hath cast the shadow which follows now across thy burrow? Cutscene? An old foe, an old foe. It was but the ethereal shadow of Master Lusa that Odyssey beheld, a natural conjuration enthralled to the elder primal. That the fiend would to deign choose him a man, even in full knowledge of the shade's true nature, I would be hard-pressed to wither such a confrontation. Yet what agonies must the young mistress have endured? Such torments did she never deserve. Mayhap it were better if Lady Odyssey did absent herself from future forays into the coils. I have come too far to surrender to grief, Yunji. My lady, I am resolved to defeat these fiends, and naught shall sway me from my path now. Let us peer more deeply into the well of our discoveries. As you wish. While you leave, I would speak with the Coil's late guardian, Nell von Darnus. Von Darnus was a legatus of the Goyler Empire who strove to begin final destruction, only to fail even as the sixth sun had set. If thou hast heard the tales of the White Raven, then it is to whom they speak. I say for Nell was for a certainty no maid. The noble house of Von Darnus, as we discovered late, had long safeguarded the wisdom of the ancient ally. It was thus that the legatus came to learn the true nature of Delamon, and to seek to employ the Red Moon as a weapon against Yorza. The crystal tower and the mechanism required to command the satellite yet lay hidden beneath the ground, compelling Neil to construct a far less subtle mechanism. In his faltering attempts to communicate with Delamon, he did likely rouse the satellite's lumbered prisoner. Henceforth did the White Raven's soul belong to Bahamut. It was fortunate indeed to acquire so powerful a troll by chance. Though we may accuse him of bungling Von Darnus' resurrection, Bercy Bahamut was at intent to have a handmaiden as a servant. I only hope that the two trolls we encountered were the extent of his flock. Yet I cannot help but dwell on Nail's words, those beloved children of whom he spoke. I assumed at first that he referred to the moon's beastly gardens, but should Bahamut have enslaved our other mortals, we must needs remove this source of worship. Otherwise our efforts to disable the coil shall be for naught. Here's my mind in my lady. Thou wise indeed to speak of expunging the primal trials, but canst thou truly pursue a course which would cost thee thine own grandsire? My heart and mind are as one on this matter. Grandfather's salvation can be won, but by a single method, the destruction of Bahamut and aught that might serve to sustain him. While the RNG and the different to certain existence of any further trials, I suggest you grant yourself a moment of respite. Rest assured that I will contact you the moment I have need of with your talents. Oh jeez, trials have only barely begun. Yes. The time has dulled the pain of that. I find that I'm wandered afresh. Alright. Truly so, what good shall come of this unending search for knowledge and truth? Long have I believed that the pursuit of such treasures to be duty of every true Charlemagne. Yet when each new relation serveth only the heap further inquish. Alright. Well, that's kind of sad. So you have found your resolve there, sister. Will you now find a fuse for this secret? For the key that only you and I hold? Wait, you two hold a key of some kind? Given our familiar proficiency of curiosity, you would do well to remember that keys may serve to seal doors as well as to unlock them. And Bahamut is our most welcome guest, to whom the door should never have been opened. Oh, that's Shiva? That's a hard version of Shiva, right? Okay. Hard version of Shiva. And this is the next coil. Man, that won't cast light wherever where secrets lie and hide it through that witch night. So there's such unhappy truth Bahamut's immense shadow does conceal. Peerless have chosen valiant blade, alright. Fair enough. It is well that you are here. Yes, I'm ready. Are you ready to go to the next coil, Alice? Melody, how might I serve you this day? I have met with some difficulty in my commission, Renji, and which should be grateful for your counsel. As you know, Bahamut's physical form is reigning beneath the Cardinal Flats, even as we speak. If we are to prevent his return, we must needs disable the two remaining interment hulks that sustain him. Every moment our mission is delayed, the realm is pushed closer to the brink of destruction. Last, though I have determined the location of the fragments of Delamon leading the hulks, I have been unable to find a way to enter them. And gaining admittance but the first step in our perilous undertaking. When last thou descended Bahamut's subterranean fastness, thou didst discover not that the dead primal had bound the shaded nail to his will, and though he does confined, look at this oblivion. Alright, Bahamut utter troll shall see to hinder thy passage. You can say his name, Renjay. I have not forgotten that my grandfather is waiting for us. My lady, I would remind you, as I must often remind myself, that the man who we both loved and revered is no more. What remains is but a shade which defiled his memory. The vile verbiage that spoiled from his lips must not be heeded, for it comes not from your grandsire, but from Bahamut himself. You need not worry. Renjay, come that way. We'll stray from the course. Alright. I will not let grandfather's sacrifice be in vain. But mere words will not take us whither we must go. As I said, I have been unable to find a way to enter the fragments of Delamon. My lady, I might suggest that you visit the fragments again in Patio's company. Full of half the War of Light sets events in motion by virtue of her presence alone. 'Tis possible that she may do so again. I, the while, shall search for answers of my own, by our efforts combined. Full sure am I that the path shall be revealed to us ere long. Whereas anyone else, I should question the wisdom of such advice, yet I cannot deny that what you say about Petos is true. Very well, I shall do as you suggest. Assuming you have no objections, of course. Good. Now we seek entry to the two fragments of Delamon. One lies at the Burning Wall in Eastern Talon, and one at the Singing Shards in Domardona. I left an assistant in the search party. Well, alright, I think it was. Alright, let's go. Burning Wall. I can just teleport there, right? Yeah, okay. Hello.
Yeah.
I say you are not Mistress Jan, my lady's most faithful companion. Sinus, madame, at your service. What an honor it is to meet you. How goes the survey, Dex? It shames to me to say that I have found no viable path to the fragment. Though it stands here, there, before our eyes, the way thither has thus far proven impassable. When the fragment fell and pierced the land, it caused a proportionate amount of Aether before. It was this that gave rise to the land's twisted lay, which seems distant to dwarf our efforts. Even where an opening exists, I feared that we would struggle to reach it. We cannot give up. Keep trying. So, near yet for will ways us are doing and try the other fragments. Perhaps Sinus has fared better. Alright, let's go check that out. Down low, there's something I must tell you. I'm sorry to report I lost contact with my brother just over a bell ago. As you see, the same shards and their home fell. Alright, ogre is among them. Why didn't you give me strength? I must hurry to my assistant's aid, Patios. Yes. This over here. You're good. Thank you for adventure from home there. I feared my bones were ground to be bread. Alright. Alice is here to tell you. You lied to sit your own honor. It was wrong of me to press such dangerous tasks on you. Hello, Ryanje. Cutscene. Alright. Apologies for something thus far, but there's where your journey may finally begin. Okay. I did wonder, my knowledge, there are no fragments in Northern Talon. Alright. Don't worry, you missed him. What pathway does exist, one which you yourself have made us use fit in the past. And the conclusion of several forays in the Binding Coils was the crystal formation which lay north of this place that you did emerge was not. Yes, an arterial stream bore of us back to the surface. Not much I had to memorize. Are you certain that we use it to return on the ground? Even if that were possible, it would not simply bear us back to those places which we have already explored. Indeed, you need not, my lady. Allow me to explain upon the events of your experiments. Alright, perfect. You can do that. From traveling and to destination. Fly originates from site source by focusing one's distance upon the these ripples. Your neutral travel merely to attempt the voyage could cost your life. This is the risk I'm willing to take. You are brilliant, UNJ. Well, I'm curious, did you just assist in forming this plan? I could not help but notice you repeat use of we, unless you have taken to use majestic plural in your absence. My lady, as you have clearly and I was not alone in this endeavor. Meaning there are others who are aware of our mission. Oh, it cannot be helped. Preventing Bahamut's return is what matters. If he sincerely... So be it. Alright, let's go. That must be the Malefighters, right? But what are the immortal flames doing here? Those men may be swarmed by the flames of Ulda, but they are first and foremost faithful returners of House Levia. Alphonse, so it was you who was helping UNJ. Who else could it have been, dear sister? Lest you worry, I have no intention of making the details of your venture public. Like you, I would prefer to avoid causing a panic. But be given that I wish stake, namely, to surround the realm, one must be willing to accept help when it is offered. Would you not agree? At the very least, do not be cross with UNJ. It was my behest that he kept silent. We will speak later. Pray through him, my lady, but knowing full well your intent, I judge it meet that Master Alphino be informed. Though your grandsire has become Bahamut's thrall, his noble blood courses yet through both your veins. If he must, it needs to be struck down. Do you hear that, Alphino? I mean to strike down grandfather, and when I have done so, I shall banish Bahamut to the Aether. Nothing you say will sway me from my course. I will protect yours, and I will uphold grandfather's legacy. Grandfather's legacy, so you still do not know what yourself desire. Your actions are still driven by borrowed resolve. Borrowed resolve? What does that have to do with anything? Protecting Mirza was grandfather's goal, and we made it ours, both of us. That is why we came here, unless you have forgotten. Gods forbid I should ever forget, I'll say. But do you understand? I do not question your resolve, only once it came. If it were your own, you would be able to tell me precisely what you desired so fervently to protect yours. Yet you cannot, for it is not your resolve, but grandfather's. You may struggle to see the difference, but borrowed resolve shall never be as strong as that which springs from within. But let us speak of this another time. For now, preventing Bahamut's return is all that matters. To be plain, I have no objection to striking down whatever is left of my grandfather. Know, however, that I will be accompanying you this time, as a son of House Levia. I will be present for his final moments. Very well, you may join us, on one condition: I make the decisions. Alright, Alice wants to make the decisions. If it pleases my lady, the name Urkrad. Operations are just about to complete. When you're ready to embark on your mission, just give me the word. I'll be waiting for you at Cerulean Processing Plant. Alright, perfect. Just gotta finish watching this cutscene and we're good. Pay no heed, my brother. You can rely on me. We have no come further, you and I. Altogether, we shall see our journey to its end. Alright, let's go. Please reduce your address permanently ready. As you know, remaining internet logs, sending you first, yes. Staying inside the hulk. Try and pray for your speedy return, just be on the safe side. Yes. Now, should get the entrance. Okay, perfect. Alright, got it. Alright, let's start the final coils. Alright, starting the final coils of Bahamut. We're doing an undersized party, because we're just having fun with it. Let's hope we don't get wiped, like last time, but we should be good. So this is how it looks on the inside. This interment hulk still functions. Teleportation was a success. We are come to the right place. There's no telling how much further Bahamut has regenerated since we last beheld him. Let us make haste to the main bridge and deactivate the coil. There were receptacles similar to these in previous Hulk. Those held chemical beasts, but only Alligans know what other abominations may be sleeping within. They may very well be Dalmon's internal defenses. We must stay on our guard at all times. Go! Get launched! Oh, this is gonna be a boss. Alright, the first boss of the final coils. Let's do this. Oh, this monster looks cool. Bioweapon. Imdiglid. Oh fuck. Don't die on me. Come your way. Should be good. Just keep advancing it. Just keep advancing it and it should be good. Oh, what is this? Oh, he's charging at me, right? There, oh, perfect. Oh, for Conquest, we're gonna have to believe this. Alright, well, the first turn of the final coil is done next. I guess we can try the next one. Why 12 dragons and so many? Of course, there's a lot of dragons here. Where their ligands possess means to control creatures, but to imprison them thus is barbaric. I would not wish for safe upon my worst enemy. It's plain that no love was lost between Algan and the dragons, but was it truly necessary to keep so great a number here? Dalmon did not want for defenses, this we have experienced firsthand. Such guardians as the Legends created, both living and unliving, Truly no one less capable of repelling intruders than these poor creatures. Tell me something, Alice, eh? Have you not managed to determine by whose will Bahamut exists? No, I have not. At first I assumed that Bahamut had no people of his own, that the Elegans had perhaps discovered a way to assimilate prayer itself. However, Neil's words gave me cause to reconsider, specifically the Shade's mention of Bahamut's beloved children. From that I inferred that the Primals is given form by the will of worshippers whom we have yet to... Wait. Oh. Yeah, they're right here. Boss tracked me down for a blind fool. Bahamut's beloved children right here before my eyes. How could I be so stupid? It's the dragons. Who else but the dragons of Eldgoon summoned Bahamut? Who else but they could sustain him? And to think, I wonder why Allegan kept them imprisoned here. Even though the flame Bahamut's life go out, his faithful children will summon him back. For this reason, the Allegan Empire kept an army of dragons here in a perpetual state of duress, that they might sustain the Primal's existence. Truly, I am the journey knew no bounds, and neither did their cruelty. Small wonder that Bahamut was so enraged. Let no one deny that it was a man who sought the seeds of the calamity. Will you now turn your hatred towards your own kind, dear sister? Do not patronize me, Alphino. I merely acknowledge our guilt. Lest you be any doubt, I have no intention of allowing Bahamut to lay the world to waste, regardless of the atrocity the Allegan committed against his kind. We have no choice but to terminate all who worship him, be they his children or his trolls. It seems reasonable to assume that the system responsible for the Primal's regeneration is also responsible for sustaining the captive dragons. 3 days later, all should perish, let us press on. Pyramid Hulk, regeneration grid, 6835 yalms. Right or left? this. Ooh, that's a scary dragon. Calilia. How are we going to do this? Oh, what the fuck? There we go. At least we managed to get it. One band of healing, alright. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. This looks like Model Delamon, yes. Amelia and Bahamut must have gazed at this unchanging view, trapped inside a prison that was scarcely large enough to contain him. And that hatred found an ideal vessel in Alvandernus. In many ways, Bahamut is to be pitied, not loathed, and knowing the true extent of his fury, I'm more convinced than ever of the necessity of our endeavor. Besides, he is not the only soul that cries out for vengeance. Of course, we want to avenge Lusua, so let's go. Next cutscene, let's go. Oh man, we're having so much fun doing the Coils of Bahamut. It's ridiculous. The Coils of Bahamut are so fun to do.
Whole again.
Oh, voice this one.
His size is staggering. I can scarce imagine how Grandfather stood against such a monstrosity.
This cannot be allowed to proceed any further. Let us disable the coil and move on. Grandfather? No, that man is dead. I will not dishonor my beloved grandsire's memory by calling you such. You are but his twisted shape, the thrall of a mad primal.
You were foolish to disregard my warning, child. Are you so convinced of your own righteousness?
"'Tis the rightness of our path that led us to return. Eorzea will never be safe whilst Bahamut remains to threaten all we hold dear. What of the hero who gave his life in defense of the realm? Do you truly dispute the justice of our cause?"
My poor, ignorant grandchildren. Your world is shaped by naught but recent conflict. Listen, and I will speak to you of justice. 'Twas in the twilight of the Third Astral Era. The southern land of Mericidia suffered invasion at the hands of the Allagan Empire. With no atrocity, too depraved for their purpose, the forces of Alec were unstoppable in their advance. Desperate for salvation, the dragons prayed to one of their first brood, to their ancestor Bahamut, infused by the power of their fervent supplications, Bahamut arose from the abyss of death and took wing as the Mericidians' newborn god. Yet this great miracle would only serve to further the maniacal designs of the dragon's imperial conquerors. The cruel fetters which bind my lord stand testament to the Allagon's boundless greed and hubris. I once summoned the 12 in an attempt to forestall the advent of the 7th Umbral Era. What then did the dragons of Mericidia do that I did not? Wherefore are they accursed and I exalted? 'Tis man's overweening belief in his own primacy that blinds him to the commonness of his condition and the truth of his own tyranny. As long as man is suffered to remain, the dragons shall never be at peace. Only when the plague of people has been expunged shall the children of Lord Bahamut be free. Then shall the world know true justice.
Stop it! Grandfather would never say such things. His belief that people were worth saving never faltered. He had faith in their strength, that they could stand together and push back against the darkness seeking to shake them.
A false hope. 'Tis folly to place one's faith in so flawed a race. Stand together? Huh. They would first need to agree on which direction to face. If history teaches us anything, it is that man cannot find common ground between his own 2 feet. Even you, twins whose veins run with the same blood, struggle to fathom each other's reasoning. You hide your differing agendas behind the convenient banner of Eorzea's salvation. Given your obvious self-interest, can you truly claim no kinship with the Allagon? And though I hope they might bring you closer, 'twould seem that the twin grimoires I bestowed upon you were a wasted gesture.
There may well be truth in your judgment of Alize and me, but such a one-sided tirade bemoaning the evils of man rings false, coming from the lips of Archon Louisoix. Tell me, do you champion the cause of dragons because Bahamut compels you as his thrall? Or is it because you yourself have transcended the limits of man's existence?
Ah, so the possibility did not escape your notice. What I prayed for, and what I have become. These are the keys that unlock the truth behind Eorzea's rebirth. If you would have them, then you must needs take them by force. Come! Rend this divine form asunder and claim your answers.
Ooh, it's a phoenix.
Become a primal?
It is difficult, I know, but you must accept it. That entity is no phantom or imposter. It is our beloved grandsire.
Yeah, he's become a primal, and now he wants to test you two. Before letting you stop Bahamut.
For his sake and for ours, you must defeat our grandfather.
What is this? It's doing something. These columns mads. Okay, what's next? It's just a mad. Okay, that's this one. Kill the Phoenix. No chance. Oh, I look so sad.
Grandfather is truly gone this time. But better it end this way than the alternative.
I am yet here, Alice, my dear, sweet granddaughter.
Grandfather?
I must thank you, warrior of light. Without your valor, I might never have broken free of Bahamut's control. These last few moments are mine, to live as the man I once was.
This is all that I wanted. Yet, now that it is happening, I find myself struggling to believe it. Is it really you?
Grandfather, pray forgive me my insolence. It was not my intent to demean you.
Forgive you? I am proud of you, child. You were wise enough to deduce the manner of creature I had become. Alfino, Alize, if any here should beg forgiveness, it is I.
Grandfather, I must ask, will you not tell us what befell during the calamity?
Yes, yes, of course. You have come far to hear the truth. Let us then begin the tale at the Battle of Cartano, where clashed the forces of the Garlean Empire and the Eorzean Alliance. 'Twas there in the sky above the surging armies that the elder primal Bahamut broke free of the Red Moon Dalamut. In an effort to contain this avatar of destruction, I called upon the 12 to aid me in the creation of a prison of Aether. But Bahamut would not be caged by such feeble bars. Too vast was his might, too fierce his rage. Little choice remained to me. I used the last of my strength to entrust our hope unto the future, and prepared to meet my end.
It's sad. Oh, that's from the trailer. Oh man, this is so sad now that we know the context behind the trailer of the start of the game. The opening. Now that we know about the opening. Now that we know how the start of the game. Oh my god. Now that we know the trailer. Now that we've seen the trailer and stuff. Now we know the context behind the trailer from the start of the game. This is just so sad. Yeah, this is just sad of what happened and everything.
As you have no doubt surmised, I did not perish. When the cage built from the essences of the 12 was destroyed, the sky was filled with a colossal cloud of ether. This drifting energy responded to the prayers of those fighting below, and to my own desperate wish that the dying realm be saved by infusing me with the power of a primal. I became the immortal phoenix, ancient symbol of rebirth. Rising into the sky, I struck Bahamut with all my newfound strength. The blow shattered his earthly form, and a shower of ether rained down upon the land. Thus began the rejuvenation of Eorzea. Believing the deed done, I relinquished my hold on that staggering energy, desirous that it should be returned to the realm without delay. But I had not reckoned on Bahamut's tenacious will. Even as he teetered upon the cusp of oblivion, the dragon reached out to claim me. Alas, within my fast fading form, enough remained of the Phoenix's energy to offer Bahamut a hold, and he dragged me along in his wake.
And thus began your existence as the Elder Primal's thrall.
I cannot help but wonder at his will to survive. Though he was all but obliterated, Bahamut found a way to seize the power you surrendered. That would explain why part of his physical form survived to be entombed underground.
It would also explain why Eorzea was so terribly warped. Even as the land sought to restore itself, the returning flow of ether was cut off.
Ah, very good. When his grip on existence was once again secured, Bahamut did not cease his feast until he had consumed every last mote of ether that yet floated in the air.
And still he was not fully restored.
You must remember that by this time, much of the freed ether had already returned to the land. That which remained was not sufficient to reconstruct so massive a form in its entirety. But there did not need to be. Not for a being sustained by the marvels of Allagan technology. As long as some piece of Bahamut persists, the Coils will seek it out and continue their regenerative task. The fragments of Dalamud appear motionless from the surface, but deep beneath the ground they had been searching, tunneling through rock and soil towards their escaped prisoner. And, as you have observed for yourselves, they found his heart. Warrior of Light, heed me. You must put a stop to Bahamut's regeneration. Whether it be for man or for dragonkind. The question of justice is irrelevant. The Elder Primal will leave naught but a smoldering wasteland for both his children and ours. I beg you to defend Eorzea and guide its people to the future they yet struggle to find. This portal will take you to the final internment hulk. 'Tis time for the tale of Bahamut and his part in the calamity to come to an end. Alvino, Alize, pray, come closer. Your hopes and dreams must no longer be an extension of mine. You must needs find your own reason to fight for this realm, your own meaning in this sea of chaos. Will you do that for me?
Of course, Grandfather. I have already made it my mission to see this newborn Eorzea survive and flourish.
Alize, while I was yet enthralled to Bahamut, you spoke of my faith in man's strength. Know that your words reached me, imprisoned though my soul still was. So forceful was your conviction. I wonder if that belief has not become your own. Perhaps, after all your anger and sorrow was spent, you found something greater within you. See this fight to its culmination. 'Tis also your strength, in which I have faith.
Thank you for everything. Pray, take your rest, Grandfather. You deserve it.
There are records of an art that allowed one to summon the power of a primal from the essence of its demise. And though I am no true primal, all that I have left, I give to you. Alvino, Alize, my darling grandchildren. May Light's blessings ever keep and protect you.
Come, Warrior of Light. Our task remains undone.
Alright, let's start that final coil. This story is pretty sad so far. There's Bahamut, the big dragon that destroyed everything, Bahamut. We're gonna have to fight Bahamut? Is that what's gonna happen? The burning heart of Bahamut. We're gonna have to fight Bahamut?
Was a long and arduous road, but at last we reach its end. Farewell, Bahamut. I banish you back to the Aether. He is not yet whole. I did not think him capable.
Alize! Alize!
I had thought it finally over. I will not survive another blast. No. Is this how I honor my promise to Grandfather?
You must needs find your own reason to fight for this realm. Your own meaning in this sea of chaos. Will you do that for me?
I will, Grandfather. In fact, I believe I already have. That reason has been with me all along, guiding me. Eorzea's blade of light, shearing through endless shrouds of darkness. I have been shown the miraculous feats of which we are all capable, of which I am capable. Bahamut, you have wreaked enough havoc. I will not let your wrathful fires consume all that we know and love.
long I have waited to hear you say that. You have found your resolve at last. Let me join my strength to yours. In this place, in this moment, our purpose has become one.
Alright, let's go.
Future of Eorzea!
This last task is yours, Warrior of Light. You must destroy Bahamut's crystal core.
Oh, so now we're inside Bahamut? This is spooky. We're inside Bahamut. How are we supposed to survive this shit? How the fuck are we supposed to reply that shit? This flare. Look, Yucky's over there. Get raised. Get raised before Bahamut comes. Come on. Protect me, protect me. Fuck. Come on, Tobias, you can do it. You can do it, Tobias. You're level 80. You can probably tank the whole thing. I'm assuming no one has... No. Oh yeah, he probably has Resurrection. I don't think he has Resurrection. I think only the Red Mage can Resurrect, right? They're all dead. Only those two remain. We got wrecked by Mega Slayer. There we go. That's the end. Well, I guess we finished the close. That's one way to finish the coils, I guess. That is one way to finish the coils. Final Coil of Bahamut complete. Well, we made it true. We made it true. We practically died, but we made it. Yeah, I died, but I made it. I know.
But one task remains. With this last coil disabled, there shall be naught left to bind Bahamut to this world. His beloved children will finally know peace. There's the crystal. Oh, it's being dissolved.
There we go, he's gone now. We defeated Bahamut. Bahamut has been defeated. The world is saved.
'Tis done. He is truly gone. You knew, didn't you? You knew what Grandfather had become.
I was not certain, but from all I had gleaned, it seemed a distinct possibility. The scene people describe of the Battle of Cartano was one of unimaginable devastation, and 'tis through the combined prayers of the desperate and an abundant source of ether that primals are born. I merely put two and two together.
And you consider that a sufficient explanation? Well, however you stumbled across your theory, 'twas this revelation that made you wary of my attachment to Grandfather. You feared that in my obsession, I would fall under his primal sway. Is that why you decided to join us? To pull me back should I show signs of wavering?
Pray forgive me, sister. I wished only to protect you. Yet I see now that I needn't have doubted the strength of your conviction. May I ask you a question? What do you now intend to do with the truth you have uncovered?
What do you intend to do,
Which
LSA?
particular truth was that, brother? The fact that desperate prayer gave rise to the primal phoenix? That this new god was responsible for setting Eorzea on the path to rebirth? Should such a tale become common knowledge, people would soon offer up their prayers in earnest. They would beseech Phoenix to complete the healing that was begun.
Yet as you and I know all too well, the very act of calling forth this savior would do more harm to the land than good. We cannot encourage such worship for this very reason. Were Grandfather forced to return as an ether-draining primal, it would undo all that he had worked to protect. Your abiding love for him was the key that unlocked the truth of the calamity. But keys may also serve to seal doors that were best left unopened. Let your love now guide your actions, and lock away deep inside the fate of both Grandfather and Bahamut.
Fear not, Alphino. I understand what must be done. The realm need not know the truth for it to be saved. That the Elder Primal is banished, to return no more. That is enough. Let us make our way back to the surface. Poor Oriange must be beside himself with worry.
LSA would bring the tale of Savant Umbrella Candy to a close, alright? Descend into the darkness, the desolation of northern Talanon seems paradisal. As promised, I shan't reveal the true calamity to a single soul. However, the nation of Eorzea will require certain assurances that the threat of a new primal is gone. Kept in the dark over long, it's only a matter of time before they seek answers of their own accord. Let us recommend that the fragments of Dalamon are sealed off. Alright, fair enough. But first we must go and report to Oriange. It would not do to keep him in suspense. I dare say we shall find him pacing up down the cerulean processing plant. Alright, let's go check that out. Ah, the word of light returned undimmed from the depths of darkness. But a trophy bearing, I take it thou succeeded thy mission, and yet thou art alone. Mistake me not, dear friend, for when am I of thy safe return? But where pray our Master Alphino and Mistress Alice? Oh, right over there. Here, my friend, forgive us our lateness. We took the scenic route. Bahamut is no more. The realm is safe. Oh, by heavens, look at you. What horrors your young eyes must have seen. What suffering your young bodies must have borne. Pray tell me, how are you feeling? It is, friend. You're hale and whole, I assure you. Took a few tumbles, but the worst of our hurts are healed. I believe you have grandfather to thank for that. Mr. Julius said, then you met with him once more, but wherefore should Bahamut Strahl seek to ease your suffering? I promise to reveal all of it to you in due course, dear friend, but first there is a matter which requires our immediate attention. Now that Bahamut is defeated, we deem it best to bar entry to all of the fragments of Delamund. To this end, we will convince the nation's leaders that the danger is past and invite their cooperation, ensuring that the fragments are never again disturbed. Come, let us depart and seek an audience with them forthwith. A moment, sister. You need not burden yourself with this task. Gringa and I will more than suffice. Might you not take this opportunity to rest? The gods know you have earned it. But I am fine, brother. Besides, you have been true as much as I have. Oh, I see. You would play your game of diplomacy and wish me out of your way. No, I could be further from the truth, Alice. My lady, it is mine earnest belief that your brother has your best interest at heart. You have more than done your part. He has desired to relieve you of a burden he might easily bear alone. I have some experience treating with dignitaries, you must allow. As you never fail to remind me of my fondness for diplomacy, I feel it only right that I remind you of your aversion to it. Then it is settled, Yuanjie. Pray make arrangements for a chocobo carriage to ride should give us ample time to prepare our story. For now. Though our paths may be different, we share the same goal, do we not? But of course, dear sister, that which we have just achieved together stands as testament to that fact. Whatever path we choose to take, our hearts shall ever lead us to the same end. Of that I am certain. Thank you. Man, this was epic. The Coils of Bahamut, epic. Highly recommend. There's a place that I would revisit. Might I ask you to accompany me? Sure, where is that? Where'd you want to go? But first I do believe the chain of garments is in order. It won't take a moment. Where's that? The landscape is the same, of course. There's no reason it would be otherwise. Okay, and? Although it would be poetic for the fragments to magically disappear, I am well aware that they shall remain long after you and I are gone. The world may change irrevocably, but life shall ever go on. Let us take a closer look, shall we? I have no doubt that Alphino will do an admirable job concealing the truth of the calamity. And such truth as were revealed in those dark depths will never see the light of day. I myself agree that it must be so. But the thought that the people of Ryuza shall forever remain ignorant of their savior, of your deeds, the injustice of it all is almost too much for me to bear. It's fine, I don't mind. I don't care if no one knows my accomplishments. How typical of you, Peleus. Ever a hero. Even so, I cannot deny that I feel better for your assurance. But I want you to know that I will never forget. You are the one who freed Grandfather's soul and saved Yorza from Bahamut's wrath. And though these great deeds will never be remembered in song, their consequences will be dealt forevermore by every soul who calls this realm home. Yes, this spot will do. For Grandfather, Nail, and the dragons in Mericidia, for all those who were taken by the calamity. At last, our struggle with Bahamut is over. The realm given new life through the prayers and sacrifices of countless souls may look to a brighter tomorrow. When the dust of our adventures is settled, I shall embark on a journey. I mean to find my own reason to fight for Yorza. And when I do, I will fight with all my being. You have done so much for me, Peleus. One day I hope to be able to repay you in kind. I have no doubt that you will continue to help those in need and grow ever stronger in doing so. I shall endeavor to the same, and if the 12 are kind, I hope one day to become yours as a sword in the darkness as you are. Come what may. Rest assured that I will not be outdone by Alphino. You just don't want Alphino to be better. Alright, well, thumbs up. When next we meet, I promise that I will not disappoint you. Till the day fare you well, my friend, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. Complete. Alice's path. And cold. Perfect. Whew, boy. So I have good intentions to do here too.